Welcome back. This is part 2 of this lesson. We're going to continue immediately from the end of part 1, so let's get started. So now we're at this stage and we've completed step 1 of the demo. The next stage is to establish the hybrid network connectivity between the AWS environment on the left and the Animals for Life simulated on-premises environment on the right. Now on this diagram it shows us using a direct connect, but for this demonstration we're going to simulate this using a VPC peer. So let's go ahead and do that. So to create the VPC peer, let's go ahead and close down this EC2 terminal, move back to the AWS console, click on the services drop down, and then in the Find Services box just type VPC and click to move to the VPC console. Once we're there, click on Peering Connections on the menu at the left. Click on Create Peering Connection. For the peering connection name tag, just type AWS-on-prem, and this will indicate that it's a peering connection between the AWS environment and the simulated on-premises environment. Now the requester VPC will be the AWS side, so make sure you select the VPC that's called A4L-AWS. This should show a CIDR of 10.16.0.0/16. Scroll down and then for the Acceptor VPC we're going to select the simulated on-premises environment. So click in the drop down and select A4L-on-prem, and this one should show a CIDR of 192.168.10.0/24. All being well, you should see no error messages and you can go ahead and click on Create Peering Connection. Now we're going to finish setting up this peering connection, so click on the Actions drop down and then click Accept Request. You'll see a confirmation dialog and you can go ahead and click on Accept Request. Now that's the peering connection created between the AWS environment and the simulated on-premises environment, but as you learned at the associate level, creating the peering connection itself is only one part of the process. We also need to configure the routing, and to do that click on Route Tables under Virtual Private Cloud on the left. Now just expand the name column and you'll see two named route tables. We have A4L-AWS, which is the route table for the AWS VPC, and then we have A4L-on-prem, which is the route table for the simulated on-premises environment. And we need to edit both of these, adding a route for the other VPC. So first we'll select the AWS route table, select that one, click on Routes. There'll only be the local route for the CIDR range of that VPC, so we'll need to add another one. So click on Edit Routes and then Add Route. We're adding a route for the CIDR range of the simulated on-premises environment, and that's 192.168.10.0/24. So this is a route which allows the AWS VPC to communicate with the simulated on-premises environment VPC. So the target for this route, if you click on the target drop-down, is going to be a peering connection, and select the AWS-on-prem peering connection. And once you've done that, click on Save Changes. Hopefully everything's okay, and you can go ahead and click again on Route Tables. And then you need to follow the process for the simulated on-premises environment. So go ahead and select the on-premises route table, make sure that the Routes tab is selected, and then click on Edit Routes. This should have a local route for the CIDR of the simulated on-premise environment, that's fine. You'll also see another route for the S3 endpoint that's also in this VPC. Both of those are fine to leave as is. What you'll need to do is to click on Add Route, and we're adding a route which allows the simulated on-premises environment to communicate with the AWS VPC. So we need to add the CIDR range for the AWS VPC, which is 10.16.0.0/16. And again, the target is going to be the peering connection, so click on the drop-down, select peering connection, and then click on AWS-on-prem and save that route. And again, it should tell you that the routes have been successfully edited, and that's good. go ahead and click on Route Tables. So now the network connectivity is in place between the AWS VPC and the VPC for the simulated on-premises environment. And what we need to do next is to test that. So to do so, click on Services and select EC2. Then click on Running Instances. Now you're going to need the IP address of one side of this newly connected network. So select the on-prem app server and then just copy the private IP address of this into your clipboard. Now note, this is on the simulated on-premise side of this newly integrated network. So what we need to do next is select an instance that's on the AWS side. So go ahead and select AWS-EC2-A. Right-click, Connect. Again, we're going to use Session Manager, so select that and click on Connect. So now if we type ping and then a space and then paste in the IP address of the app server and press Enter, we will now get a ping response. Now this indicates that we do have network connectivity, so layer 3 connectivity between the AWS environment and the simulated on-premise environment. What we don't have though is DNS integration. If we type ping and then a space and then app.corp.animalsforlife.org and press enter, we still get name or service not known. So while we do have layer 3 network connectivity, we don't have any DNS integration, and that's what we're going to do next. This is the end of part 2 of this lesson. It's a pretty complex lesson, and so I wanted to give you the opportunity to take a small break, maybe stretch your legs or make another coffee. Part 3 will continue immediately from this point, so go ahead, complete this video, and when you're ready, I look forward to you joining me in part 3.